How did I get into cybersecurity? My whole story and background is that I come from a media background, which means I've built more on the soft skills than hard skills. So everything that I've learned in cybersecurity is basically self-taught. So coming from a media background, I used to work in a radio station where I was self-taught through everything from your computers to supporting to every single thing. So I used to work with you likes like your DJ Smooth. I helped him build a Massive Metro when Massive Metro was still starting out. I used to work with brands as well. I used to help brands grow and multiply as well. So I've doubled basically on a lot of things in my life, and I've taught myself some of the things and to be where I am. And getting to cybersecurity, it's self-taught. And how I got into cybersecurity, the interesting part about it is that short story, which I won't make long. I Somebody told me about cybersecurity, which I didn't understand what cybersecurity was about. And then when this person was sharing about cybersecurity, it was like, hey, it's all about hacking and database and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I've heard about that. Obviously, I've seen it in movies where we see a big screen where people are always on their keyboard every single time. And I was like, this is very interesting. And I started doing my own research about cybersecurity as well. And I was like, okay, I just need to get my foot in. If I can get my foot in, I know that I have a plan. I've always had a plan. I was like, I have a plan. So what I did, I knew that I wanted to firstly work on the non-technical side of cybersecurity. So I jumped in. I started working for a cybersecurity company on the non-technical side of things, where I was handling most of the things on the non-technical side of things. I was helping mostly the CEO. I grew in that role by working with what we call a SOC, which is a security operations center. And I started obviously working with the engineers, doing a bit of both of everything in that particular company. And I started asking questions. How do you do this? Oh, why is that done in that way? Okay. And I'll go home, I'll practice. So I was always the first one in, last one out, first one in, last one out in the particular company. They knew me with this guy is always the first one in, last one out. And the CEO is again, she used to involve me in every single meeting because I made myself available. I showed her that I was hungry to learn. And until a post came out in the company where they said they're looking for a particular security engineer. And when they said they're looking for a security engineer, I was obviously chosen. I was given a test, and I'll answer all your questions at the end of the thing. So I was given a test. I passed the test. I became an engineer. I started working in the SOC as a security engineer, which is much more on the technical side of things. So that's basically how I got into cybersecurity. Everything was self-taught, and I used to go home and practice on try hack me, go back to hack the box. I would read. If I didn't understand something, I have a book which I still have even now. I still write my notes there. I write that word down. Get home, I'll do as much research as I can. So I have this method which is called the three-way method, which is you write down what you don't understand and then you Google search that thing. After that, you read more about that topic for the next 2 to 3 weeks. You watch videos about that particular topic, and then from there, you try to teach it to others. This is where your understanding of that topic will become much more broader. So that's how I basically learned more about cybersecurity on the technical side of things. Okay. Now, let's start off and asking yourself, what is cybersecurity? Probably a lot of you guys are asking yourself, you're asking yourself, what is cybersecurity? Now, I'm going to explain it in a much more simple, less detailed way. Unlike here, as you can see, it's talking about computers, but think about it in this way. Every single thing that we have currently in our world, we're using our smartphones, we're using our laptops. Right now, we are connected, right? So in a much more simple manner, that we in cybersecurity, our job is to protect your data, is to protect your data from being hacked. Now, every time I talk about hack, people get scared. No need for you to be scared. Now, only we protect your data for also from getting malware. So what is malware? So malware is what we call a virus. So you've seen that your computer has a virus. So that's basically that. So we protect your computer from getting malware. We protect your data from being stolen. Now, data itself, it's basically what we call your It's your name, your surname, your username, um, your cell phone number, your email address, your passwords, your banking details. So that's basically data. So our job in cybersecurity is to protect that data from being stolen in the company. So depending on the company that you're working for in cybersecurity, our job is to protect the data from being stolen. And that is our job, whether you are in the technical or non-technical side. That's basically the job. Now, why is cybersecurity important? Now, cybersecurity is important for this. These are some of the reasons. This is basically not all the reasons, but cybersecurity is very important because it protects sensitive information. One, it perceives privacy. It maintains business continuity, so meaning that a business cannot continue from being hacked. Great example is that this couple of days, this past couple of months, we've seen a couple of companies here in South Africa being hacked. And a great example is that I'm sure you guys have seen CIPC was hacked 2 months ago. So just to cut the long story short, I know the people which hacked CIPC. Hope this thing is not recorded, but I know the people who actually hacked CIPC, and I was talking to those guys on the side, and yeah, so those guys actually they hacked CIPC, they hacked CIPC, and then what they did at the end of the day, they ended up doing an interview with a particular newspaper article, and they told them how did they get in and why did they decide to hack CIPC. And when I spoke to the guy, I knew for a fact that it was not their first time for them to hack CIPC. And I knew how they hacked CIPC, but I'm not going to mention their name, but that's a story for another day. Yeah. And then moving to point 4, which is safeguard critical infrastructure, prevent cyber crimes as well, which I just spoke about right now, ensures regularity and compliance. Compliance is very important because some companies don't have the compliance. So, which we'll talk more on the next slide. Now, in cybersecurity, there are two primary domains, which is by domains, I mean there are two primary, basically, career fields that you can go into. Remember, when I started in cybersecurity, I told you that I first started off on the non-technical role, and then I jumped on to becoming in a technical role because I really had a plan for myself. Now, in these two domains, there are two domains. There's the technical roles, there's a non-technical roles. Now, I'm going to first start explaining to you guys the technical side of things. Now, the technical roles in cybersecurity are basically typically involves on hands-on work with cybersecurity tools, systems, and technologies. This involves, the roles which are responsible for implementing security measures, analyzing threats, and also responding to security incidents. Example of the roles that we might have in the technical roles, which are cybersecurity analyst, penetration tester, which I know a lot of people, every time they come into cybersecurity, they want to become penetration tester, security engineer, incident response, and malware analyst. Now, I want to talk about these roles before I jump onto the non-technical side of things. A lot of people, every single time when they come into cybersecurity, and this is what I've seen, people always ask me this question. They're like, I want to go into cybersecurity. I'm like, perfect. Welcome to cybersecurity. But what is that you want to do in cybersecurity? Every single person always says, I want to hack, which means they want to become a pen tester. And 80% again of people don't do their research. Research is important. You can't become what you don't understand. You can't go to a place that you've never been and you don't have a GPS for it. It's important for you to know what is that you want. It's important for you to draw a roadmap for yourself in order for you to get to that destination. Because if you're just going to be driving and be like, I want to become a pen tester. Number one, do you know what a pen tester does? Do you understand what a pen tester does? Have you seen what a pen tester does? Do you understand the role? What's going to be required? Because it's a technical side. Do you think you have the capacity to think on the technical side of things? Because you, as the person, you have to be honest with yourself, because you have to realize that these roles on the technical side of things are very demanding. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to sell you dreams here. I'm going to be very honest because I've been in cybersecurity for a while. These roles are very demanding, um, and they are very hard. Some of these roles are very, very hard. Um, I recently just moved roles. I used to work in the SOC. I used to be a SOC analyst. So I moved over now. I'm a security engineer. So my goal going forward, I yes, I can hack. Answer that question, but yeah, my goal going forward, I want to become a malware analyst. So that's my goal. That's basically my goal. So my goal is I want to become a malware analyst. Basically, what I want to do, I want to create viruses and sell them to the government. That is my main plan. I want to be, my company is going to do that. We're going to create viruses and we're going to be the only people which have the keys to unlocking that viruses. So that's basically my main goal currently in the future for the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah. Now let's go back to the non-technical roles. Now, non-technical roles in cybersecurity are focused more on the policy development, risk management, compliance, and also communication aspects of cybersecurity. While these roles may not require deep technical expertise, they demand a strong understanding of cybersecurity principles and also practices as well. Examples of these roles are cybersecurity consultant, GRC compliance, security awareness trainer, security policy analyst, and also risk analyst. I'm sure you've seen me talk about these roles, most of you guys on my social media. I explained these roles much more details, but I'm not going to go into details on these roles. But if you know that you are a non-technical person, this is where obviously you have to be very honest with yourself and ask yourself, do I think I have what it takes to become a technical person? And if not, obviously you can still jump onto a non-technical role. These roles are all fun, but also they require a lot of work. They require you to know certain things and they require you to work very hard as well. So it's very interesting. These roles are very, very interesting. All of these roles are very interesting. This is not only the roles that we have in cybersecurity, there are numerous roles in the technical side and even non-technical side. But before I jump into my next slide, I want to say this that you have to remember. I always say this in people coming to cybersecurity, whatever background you come from, it's very important. If you come from a retail background, if you come from a marketing background, if you come from a software development background, whatever background you come from in cybersecurity, it's important. Reason why I'm saying that, because that background will help you strive. For example, you might come from a soft skill background, which means you can strive in cybersecurity. Most people in cybersecurity are introverts. And if you know that you're an extrovert, you will strive in cybersecurity. I'm not gonna lie. I am an extrovert in cybersecurity. I have strived, I have seen this happen. And even when I go to interviews, like I get interviews most of the time, companies call me, they want me, and I'm like, no, 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 I don't want to take an offer. I'm currently good right now. So you see what happens. I'm always putting myself out there and they're always coming to me. But if you're an extrovert, always quiet, you need to work on that. You need to work on your hard skills. You need to work on your soft skills as well. So, yeah. Now, let's talk about how to get into cybersecurity. Now, I've created 11 steps on getting into cybersecurity. Now, let's break it down step by step. Step number one is understanding what cybersecurity is. Now, you have to do your own research and understand what cybersecurity is. You can't just jump into cybersecurity. As I said again, you can't just jump into a car and start driving to a place that you've never been. You need a GPS and you need to put in that location to go to the direct place. That's very important. Before you can choose a career in cybersecurity, you have to understand what is cybersecurity, how does cybersecurity work, what do people in cybersecurity do? That's important. Number two, self assessment. By that, I mean you have to understand yourself. You have to know yourself. You have to know what is your interest, what are your goals, and what are you planning for the next 2 to 3 years. And also, you have to understand yourself in terms of are you a technical person or a non technical person? And remember, you are human. There's no right or wrong answer. If you decide to go in a technical role and you don't succeed, you can still change and go to a non-technical role. You are human. Humans are made to make errors, and that's very, very important to understand that. Number three is choose your path. Now, by me saying choose your path, you have to understand, are you going to a technical role or a non-technical role? Now, you have to draw a map for yourself. If you've decided to go to a non-technical role, I always advise people, which I mentor, that if you're choosing a certain path in cybersecurity, whether you're choosing to work in the SOC, which I always advise people, if you want to jump into cybersecurity, especially on the technical side of things, always start working in the SOC. The SOC will give you literally will put your foot out there because you get exposed to a lot of things. So once you're in the SOC, I always tell them that you can have a plan of, for example, you want to be at a certain place at a certain time. Maybe you want to be a pen tester. That's good. But once you start working in cybersecurity, 80% of the time, you will change your mind on the tip, on the career that you want to be in once you're in cybersecurity. For example, if you're in the SOC, you decide that I don't think I want to be a pen tester anymore. I want to be, a level 3 SOC analyst. And that's fine. You can change your mind. That is fine. And moving on to point number 4, start with the basic. It's important for you when after you've chosen what career path you want to take in cybersecurity, it start with the basics. By me starting by saying that you should start with the basics is that start learning the basics of cybersecurity. What is important? So what I did the most intelligent thing in my life. So what I did, I started asking people who were in cybersecurity 10 years, 5 years, and I asked them, what is the one thing that you struggled with when you got into cybersecurity, and what do you wish people could have told you when you got into cybersecurity? And people told me, this is what you need to learn. And all of them said basically almost the same thing. And I knew that, okay, I went back home to my drawing board. I need to know the basics of ABC. And I started doing those basics, studying those basics, understanding those basics as well. And I knew I had those people as my mentors. Some of those people, they weren't there physically, but I had also YouTube channels as also my mentors as well. So I would watch certain topics and learn the basics through YouTube. Number 5 is get familiarized with the fundamentals. Now, by me saying that get familiarized with the fundamentals, understand the techniques which are used basically in that career path. If, for example, again, you are choosing to go into a non-technical role, maybe you want to work in GRC, follow the people who do GRC on LinkedIn. Ask them questions. Hey, dude, how does it feel to work in GRC? Oh, what are the fundamentals of that? Okay, what certificate should I get? Okay, cool. You interview these people and they will answer you. You take that information back, you go study those things. If, for example, you know that you can't afford a certain certification, that's fine. Get what you're able to afford during that moment in time. For example, you can go to Udemy, study on Udemy. You can pay the $200, study on Udemy. But what I always say is that if you really want something as bad as you want to breathe, you can make a plan. You make a plan because you have a goal and nothing and nobody can stop you from reaching that goal. Number 6 is utilize online resources. By me saying utilize online resources, I mean utilize your podcasts, utilize YouTube, utilize all the free resources that you can get. Number 7 is pursue a certification. Now, this is up to you. Again, how I always advise the people that I mentor is that it depends on your pockets. Our pockets are not the same. Some people are working full time, some people are working part time, some people are not working at all. So you can pursue a certain certificate or certification. Now, there's a difference between a certificate and certification. I think I want to break that down very quickly. Now, a certificate, most of the time, it's not internationally recognized. A certificate, it means that when you show a recruiter or a company that you've done a certificate, it means that you understand the basics and you've just done the minimum. A certification is internationally recognized, which means that you, for example, like a CompTIA certification, you see, that's a difference. It's internationally recognized, and companies will take you for that. Even if you have a certificate, you can still be taken, a company can still take you. That's fine. So there's no right or wrong. Again, it depends on your pockets. If you're able to afford a certification from CompTIA or from Azure, you can pay for that. If you can't, you can do the Cybersecurity certificates. You can do a certificate from Try Hack Me as well. They're also giving out certificates every single time you are done with a particular, obviously, course. and strikes as well. And then going to number 8, which is my favorite, it's practical experience. Now, by practical experience, I mean that you have to try world scenarios. Now, these world scenarios that you're going to be doing, so great example with this, when I was busy on applying for before after I moved on working for the SOC, before I moved on to another company, I continued creating more experiences for myself because I wanted to know more. So I continued on Try Hack Me and also on Hack the Box, but I still had a plan. I told myself certain things which I didn't understand. And when a recruiter would ask me, hey, do you have experience in this? I would tell them, yes, I do, but I haven't done it in that particular company, but I've done it on Try Hack Me and also Hack the Box. And that would give me leverage. They'll be like, oh, so you currently are practicing as well. So that would always make me stand out from the other people because I would send them a link. This is what I'm currently doing. Even when I'm talking to the people in the interview, I would tell them about currently right now, what am I doing and the practical experiences that I'm currently giving myself during that moment in time. Number 9, which is also my all-time favorite, which is find a mentor. I know for some of us, we won't be able to find a mentor because it's hard finding a mentor, especially in this field. Some people are always busy in finding a mentor, but you can find a mentor on LinkedIn. You can reach out to people on LinkedIn. Sometimes we need to understand what a mentor is. A mentor can be somebody who walks with you or somebody that you admire or follow. YouTube can also become your mentor. Books can also become your mentor. A person that you follow on Instagram can also become your mentor. The only thing, the secret, I'll give you the perfect secret. So for me, how I've noticed with success, right? For me, if I like somebody who's doing better than me, what I do, I look at how they got there to become successful. And then I try to follow their journey. From following their journey, I give myself a certain amount of period that I know that I need to beat that person. And then once I'm able to get to where they are or surpass them, I know that either this person is going to reach out to me or somebody in that person's group is going to talk about me. They're going to end up reaching out to me. So that's how I've always done it in my career. So you can do it either in that way or the other way, but that whatever works for you, what works for me won't work for you, but do what works for you. Then moving on to number 10, building your network. Now, networking is the key, guys. That's very important. Use LinkedIn to network. Most of the time, reach out to people. When you send a recruiter a message, invite talent managers, invite recruiters on your thing because most of the time they post about jobs, internships. Reach out to them. Hey, do you guys have, internships? Do you guys have any roles? I would like to volunteer. Do you guys have any forums coming up? Do you guys have any events coming up? Go to events, find out events. There's an app called 10 over 10 events, so you can also see which events are coming up, so you can search according to the particular field that you are in, and then you can go start attending some of these free events. Get there, network, look good, feel good, shake people's hands, introduce yourself. Most of the time, what I always say, if you meet a certain person in that particular place, and for example, let's say you're still aspiring to become a SOC analyst, or you're still aspiring to become a GRC compliance, don't introduce yourself as I'm still aspiring. No, be like, I'm a GRC compliance. How are you doing, sir? And it's going to get their interest. Like, oh, tell me more about what you do. You're like, oh, yes, I'll tell you more what I do. But can you tell me more what you do? You see, now you diverse the question to them. You push it to their side. So you have to take charge of the conversation. That's very important in networking. Take charge of the conversation because you don't introduce yourself as just a normal person. Introduce yourself with the title that you want to see yourself in. That will open up doors for you. You see, and then tell them who you are and invite them directly on LinkedIn. Like, I've just invited you on LinkedIn. Do you mind if I share your contact details? Maybe we can share each other's emails, and then take their email. Be like, can I pop you a mail on Monday about this? If there's anything happening, meet up with them, ask them for coffee, chill with them. What's going on? No, that's how networking is. That's how most people get jobs. If, for example, even if for example, a recruiter says to you, or a recruiter shares a post on LinkedIn and you follow that particular recruiter, comment on that on that particular post. Be like, this post looks interesting. I might know somebody who might be interested. Do you see what you did there? You got the recruiter responding to you. They recognize you and oh, who is this person? I would like to know more about this person, right? Even if you don't know that particular person, you'll go look on LinkedIn who matches this and be like, hey, dude, this person is looking for this. That's how basically you network with people. Networking, because I feel like technology has made things much more easier these days. And then number 11, which is my favorite, which is tailor your resume. Most of us, when we apply for jobs or apply for internships, we apply for internships all in the same day, and that's fine. There's no problem in that. But the problem is that when I'm talking about tailoring your resume, is that you have to customize your resume according to that job spec. So you look at the job spec, what is that they asking for, and then you tailor it according to that job spec. You look at your skills, do your skills match up that? You apply to that. So most of the time in these jobs, I'm not gonna lie, they ask for ridiculous amount of years. My advice is apply. Simple, apply. Just apply. Have faith, apply. Currently, where right now I am working, I'm not gonna lie to you. They were looking for a person who has over 10 years experience. And I told myself, I'm like, I don't care. I just need to sit in the room with the manager. I'm gonna apply. And what I did, I've noticed when most people apply for jobs, which was supposed to be my number 12, when most people apply for jobs on LinkedIn, they only apply on LinkedIn and then leave it there. What I did, I applied on LinkedIn and I looked at the company which posted that job. I went directly to their website, applied again on the website. And here's the funniest thing. When I spoke to my manager, the CISO, when I spoke to the CISO of the company as well, which is actually my manager, I was like to him, dude, how did you hire me? Like, how did you get my resume? Because I saw that there were over like 700, applicants on LinkedIn. And he was like, listen, there was over 700 applicants on LinkedIn, but on the website, there were only 20 people which applied. I was like, wow, okay, which means my method worked. And I noticed that people only stick to LinkedIn. Don't stick to LinkedIn only. Go to the company's website, apply for jobs there. And long story short, once I got into the interview with my manager, he called me in for an interview and he asked me simple questions. Simple questions. Okay, some questions were hard, but I was honest from get-go, where it was like, do you have, 10 years experience of this? I was like, listen here, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I'm here at this current moment, but if you give me an opportunity, I can show you what I can do. And this is what I'm currently doing. This is what I'm planning on doing. I have a roadmap. I'm doing this, and I know what I'm bringing on the table. So I started selling myself, and he started asking me a question. He was like to me, but I feel like you have over 15 years experience. I was like, no, I don't have that particular experiences because I study every single day. If I don't know a topic, I study about it. If I don't know something, I write it down. I go back home, I study it. I see how I can implement it in terms of what I'm currently doing. And that's what made me stood out in my interview. Apparently, that's how it made me stood out. Even when I was doing the assessment, I got 100%. People which had 10 years experience, they literally got 40% when I saw my results. And I was like, damn, this is interesting. And all this was because I applied myself, I study every day, and I always write notes and I ask a lot of questions and I reach out to my network and asking people which are around me, which have been around in terms of what is that I'm supposed to do? How can I do it better? Okay, I don't know about this. Can you teach me? Or I'll go back to YouTube and read books about that particular topic. Now, I'm very much open to you guys asking me questions. If you guys do have any questions, I'm very much open to hearing you guys out. Sure. Jabulo. Nathan, yeah. I think your mic is on mute. Nazi.
Hi guys, how are you? Mr. Fingers, just one question, bro. I just want to know, you talked about a virus, and for those of us who don't know a virus, because the only one we know is COVID, What is it? Please let us know.
That's a very good question. Thank you so much, Nati. Sure. So a virus is basically it's I'll explain it in a simple way, right? So a virus is basically it attacks your computer without you knowing. So it's like a worm. It sits there undetected. It's always sitting there. So if, for example, you get that the virus sometimes can make your computer slow, it certain things in your computer can jam, and it depends what type of virus you're talking about. Think about it in this way: an intruder comes in your house, they always chilling in the in the cupboard without you knowing, and you're seeing things disappear bits by bits, and you're asking yourself, how? I had this, I placed this here, I placed this there. So think about the virus in that sense. So it takes a bit of things in your house without you knowing. So again, depending on the virus, viruses are not the same. So in cybersecurity is what we call also malware. Yeah, I see a couple of hands. Uh, SOC recommend. Okay, SOC certifications. Cool. So SOC certifications that you can get, it depends. It all depends again. If you don't have any cybersecurity experience and you don't have IT experience, I always say start with the basics first. So my advice is before you can go right to CompTIA, before you can even go right Network Plus, great advice I will give you is first start out with go checking out Try Hack Me, do the SOC analyst roadmap first, do that trial for and take your time. You're not in a hurry. You're not here to beat people, right? You're not here to beat people. Once you understand what needs to be done on a SOC analyst level, then you can um, go right your simple one, which is your CompTIA Plus, and then you can go right, which is your CompTIA CompTIA Network Plus as well. And also, Cisco also has a couple of certificates which you can also do a network certificate from Cisco, which is for free. You can also do a cybersecurity certificate from Cisco, which is also for free as well. And also, you can do a couple of certificates from Qualys. Qualys has a few certificates that you can do, but the Qualys ones are a bit challenging. I'm not gonna lie to you. So yeah. Oh, Blaine, you wanted to ask a question. I see there's questions also in here, so I need to open this.
Yes, so we have got quite a few raised hands. I think Brian Koza, can you ask your question? I see you've got a raised hand there, Mr. Brian.
Oh, the question I wanted to raise it's about the cyber specialists who deal with DevSecOp. So I wanted to know more about that
Oh,
industry, but it's in cybersecurity.
sure. So you want to know a bit more about DevOps, right? Correct.
Yes.
100%. So DevOps, they pretty much in cybersecurity, they pretty much handle what we call they deal with logs, your Kubernetes, they deal with Dockers. So unlike most of the time in software engineering where you have to code with Python, Java, on as a DevOps, most of the time you'll be using Linux. And we in cybersecurity depend on you guys because this is where our logs are coming in. This is where you guys deal with the data coming from the client sides to basically coming to the server side, to our side. Whereas we as security analysts, we get to look at the data. So you make the data easy and accessible for us, and you make the data also decrypted and encrypted. So you encrypt the data and decrypt the data as a DevOps. So basically, that's your job. So you use a lot of Linux. That's mostly what DevOps do. They I want to say they code. So they yeah, it's a lot of commands, which is very interesting. DevOps in cybersecurity is very interesting. It's a role which is very big, and in different companies, DevOps do different things. So give you a great example. In my previous companies, DevOps were called a different name. They were not called DevOps. They were called infrastructure. So most of the time, as again, they dealt with logs. So all our logs, we used to call them for, because everything which comes from the client side, again, from the client server, to our server, we used to depend on the infrastructure team, which was the DevOps. I'm just trying to look for the questions here. Okay, where can anyone find the question? Okay.
Thanks
Tsepo.
for the
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. For somebody who doesn't have any cybersecurity or any IT background and qualifications, however, would like to join the cyberspace, where can I begin from? Thank you.
100%. Thank you so much. That's actually a good question. I like that question. So for somebody who doesn't have IT experience, who doesn't have cybersecurity experience, again, my advice is that before you can jump into cybersecurity, first do your research on what is that you want to do in cybersecurity. Do you want to do something in technical or non-technical? If you don't have a clue in terms of what is that you want to do yet, that is still fine. You can go to Try Hack Me. So what they do have technical and even non-technical things that you can do there. So you can take a skill assessment test that will show you in terms of which roadmap you can take, and then try out the labs there and try out the roadmaps and try Hack Me. It will really help you in terms of getting the IT fundamentals that you need and getting some of the basics that you need from cybersecurity. And let's say, for example, you decide that you want to be on the technical side of things of cybersecurity. Now, if you want to gain more on the IT knowledge of things on cybersecurity, you can check out Cybery, and you can go through a roadmap in Cybery, which is IT fundamentals. So IT fundamentals on Cybery is for free. You can go through that, and some of the videos obviously are paid, but you can go through some of the fundamentals or watch YouTube on the IT fundamentals. So basics IT things that you need to understand and know, like for example, your AD, your DNS, your networking. Very important. Networking is very, very important in cybersecurity, whether you're going to be working in technical or non-technical side. So understanding those basic, the simple basic stuff, it will really get you far.
Okay, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Okay.
I
Mr.
see. Yeah.
Mr. Fingerz, we've got some questions in the chat box.
Sure. Please read them out for me.
So we'll do. Yelisa Dlamini. Hi, Mr. Fingerz. For a person who did introduction and cybersecurity essentials through Cisco, never done any practicals on these courses, what are the chances of getting into the cybersecurity world? From Yelisa Dlamini.
100%. And that's a very good question, Yolisa. As again, first thing is first, you need to understand where you're going, because I see people. I have a community group that I've created, a WhatsApp community group that I've created, and yesterday I was talking to a guy who was saying in my community group, which is nothing wrong with that, and he was just saying that he's gotten all certificates on cybersecurity. And again, my question to him was like, because he was like, what is next? And I was like, that's the problem. You're asking what is next, which means you haven't created a roadmap for yourself. So the question is not what is next. The question is, where do you see yourself? Which path did you decide to take? Because you can't do a certificate in something that you don't understand. You can't do a certificate in something which you know that's not going to give you any direction. I'm not saying that certificate that you did is wrong. It's good because it's introduction. But now you need to pave a way, a roadmap for yourself in terms of where you're going, what path have you decided to take. If it's a path of a technical side or non-technical side, okay, now you need to understand and do more research about it in terms of what is that you need to understand in terms of the fundamentals of what you need to understand. Take that path of understanding that, and for example, you have to do more Cisco courses. Do more Cisco courses. Don't just do a certificate because you think that it's going to get you hired. Unfortunately, a certificate will only make you sit in the room with a recruiter, but it will not get you a job sitting with the guys on top, because they're gonna grill you. They're not gonna ask you about certificates. They're gonna just ask you, do you know this? And if you can't explain it, it's over. Can't explain it, it's over. Great example. A couple of weeks ago, we were interviewing a person in our company. This person has over 45 certificates, right? And as we're interviewing this person, we asked them certain questions relating to each certificate that they had. And we were asking this, that. They couldn't even understand what we were talking about. And that became a problem, because when I was talking to this person behind the scenes after the interview, I was like, why did you decide to get the certificate for this? And for her, she was like, listen, I just wanted to get a job in cybersecurity. Nobody told me that I'm going to be asked questions relating to a certain certification. I was like, don't just do a certificate because somebody told you to. Do a certificate or certification because you want to get a better understanding of it. And also, you know that to open a door for you. And when you're sitting on the table with those guys, you will know how to you will know how to explain the fundamentals. You know how to explain the basics. You don't have to say I have experience in that, but you have to know how to say I know this, I've seen this, and I've read more about this. And this is how it works. This is how everything correlates all together. Yeah.
All right, thanks for that, Mr. Fingerz. So guys, we'll just be taking 2 last questions. If you guys want to ask Mr. Fingerz any more questions, you guys are free to reach out to Mr. Fingerz on his TikTok pages. Let's take one from the raised hands here. Lerato Mosiane, could you please ask your question? I see you raised your hand.
Thank you for the opportunity, and hi to everyone. I would like to know, right? So I hear you talking about, I understand international certificates like Cisco and CompTIA, but I've realized that I have completed my certification in CompTIA Security Plus, but under Ellison. Would you maybe advise me to continue because Berlin is more affordable with such certificates, or consider maybe CompTIA straight? Thank you.
Very good question, Lerato. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna tell you the funniest thing. I don't have a certificate. I don't have a certification from CompTIA myself, right? That's the funniest thing. I've got certificates from other, institutes. I don't have, just like you, I don't have a certificate from CompTIA. So it's not about where you get your certificate. It's about you understanding why you're getting it. And as again, you need to be able to explain it when you're sitting in the room with those guys as well. So since you said you've got your CompTIA, go get your CompTIA Plus. Either you get it, for example, depending on your budget, either you get it from Udemy, that's still fine, but also try to understand where you're going, right? What is your plan? If, for example, again, you're planning on becoming a SOC analyst, that is fine. Maybe do a couple of certificates on Cisco. And also, I know Cisco has a free voucher that's giving out for you to go write a certain certificate. And then don't be a certification collector, what we call a collector. So make sure that for each certificate that you get, you go practice on Try Hack Me or Hack the Box, because you don't want to become a certification collector where you're learning about a topic from wherever you're learning from, but you don't have the practical experience on applying it, because Try Hack Me is going to help you to apply it. And this is where you can share the link with recruiters. If they ask you, do you have basic experience on this? You'll be like, yeah, I've done this on Try Hack Me and I can prove it. Here are my streaks and here's the link to it. It will really help you to stand out from all the other competitors. Yeah.
Wow, I hope that answered the question. So one last question I've got for you in the chat box, Mr. Fingerz, from Jeremy Francis. Other than tailoring your resume, what else can we do? I have a national diploma in cybersecurity and I have been applying.
Sure. So other than tailoring your resume, it's creating profiles. So it's important for you to also create certain profiles on Indeed, on PNet, on Career Junction as well. So you can create profiles as well, because most of the time recruiters are always looking. So make yourself available to recruiters as well. And on LinkedIn, you need to post about your journey, post about your success, post about things that you are doing or have been doing. If you are practicing on labs, post about the lab that I've been doing this A, B, C, D, because that's important for a person like yourself, which means you've got practical experience. You can post about the journey, post about a certain lab that you've been doing. For example, I'll give you a great example. On my side, right? Somebody was asking me if I could hack. 100% I can hack. That's something which I don't share on my TikTok because I'm very sick. I'm not secretive, but I'm very discreet about certain things. But for example, for me, I'll just post about I've tried hacking this blah 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 thingy, and I saw that it's been giving me problems. You see what I did there? I told them about the problem. Now I'm gonna tell them about the success in terms of, okay, tried to hack this, but it didn't work, but I end up getting in. Or maybe you're doing something on the firewall. You'll be like, I tried doing this on the firewall, man, it was giving me problems, but I end up doing it well. Post about your journeys because recruiters are looking at that. And sometimes it's not only recruiters, CEOs, managers are looking at people who are applying themselves practically as well. That's very important. Again, so two things: make sure that you create profiles for yourself on Indeed, Career Junction, put yourself out there so that these recruiters can reach out to you. Not only that, but also make sure that you post about your journeys or what you're currently doing right now. Don't just chill and think that people are going to come to you. You need to make sure that you reach out to them as well. Invite recruiters to your space, and then from there reach out to them. Hey, I just wanted to ask you, do you perhaps have anything coming up in cybersecurity? And I think I understand your frustration on trying to put your foot in cybersecurity, and that's something which I didn't mention, that in cybersecurity it's very hard jumping into cybersecurity. It's very hard getting your foot out there in cybersecurity. But once you are in, you are in. There's no way out. You are in. So keep on doing those things, and trust me, your day will come.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Fingerz. Thank you to everyone in the chat box. Thank you to everyone who raised their hand to ask questions. Thank you for all that. Next, we will be moving on to the next segment of our webinar. And I'd like to take this moment to give the floor and introduce our CEO at MELSOFT Academy, Mr. Larrett Jimmel.
Thank you so much, Blaine. Thank you, Canelo, and big thank you to Mr. Fingerz for that amazing presentation. Thank you. I learned quite a lot from that. I didn't know that hacking is such a lucrative career path. I should have started in just hacking and tried to hack just one bank, and that I would have been fine. So thank you so much, Mr. Fingerz, for that. And guys, if you want to connect with Mr. Fingerz, he offers mentorship and tutoring one-on-one. So if you want to connect with him, do reach out on his TikTok account. And yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Fingerz. So I'm not going to take much of your time, like I promised on the other events. We have something very special for you, which we announced at our event last week for all of you guys that were there. So we are the problem-solving institution. If you don't know MELSOFT Academy, we solve problems. We basically solve problems. And after doing a lot of research, we have managed to see that there are some very big problems when it comes to the tech space, with cybersecurity being one of them. A lot of you guys were asking questions like, where do I start with my cybersecurity journey? Which certifications should I take? How do I land my first job? What should I do? So us being the problem solvers that we are, we went away and we created a new package that we're offering to all of our students. So I'm very proud to announce that after so much hard work, MELSOFT Academy is now launching our very own cybersecurity bootcamp that is 6 months long. And the way it will work is that, like what Mr. Fingerz was saying, you must know your end goal. You must know where you want to get to, right? Don't just take courses for the sake of taking courses. You must know where you want to go, right? And like he was saying, the hardest thing in cybersecurity is to get your first opportunity. And once you get your foot in the door, then you're in. So the MELSOFT Academy bootcamp for cybersecurity is designed to do one thing and one thing only, and that's to get your foot in the door through an internship. So our 6-month program covers starting with an introduction to cybersecurity, something like this, and in more detail as well. Then you will take 2 professional certifications in Network Plus and Security Plus. And these are very beginner-friendly certifications that allow you to just get your foot in the door. Then after that, there will be introduction to Linux. For all those of you that don't know Linux, it's an operating system like Windows or Mac OS, but Linux is mostly used when communicating with networks. Then you will have to learn some Python programming, because for you to write some penetration tests, you need a programming language, and Python is the most easiest and the most widely used in cybersecurity. Then you will learn how to become a traffic analyst before you build your e-portfolio. And once you've got your e-portfolio, MELSOFT Academy will help you secure your first internship. 100% guarantee if you get to the end. And the reason why we have a good, solid 100% guarantee is before we launch an intake A, we make sure that we have the internships in place already. And B, we only accept 20 people per cohort per month in order for us to make sure that that internship truly is guaranteed. Because if 150 people were to join that bootcamp, then it could be a bit of a mess. So if you're interested in joining the cybersecurity bootcamp, then please just use the link, this link that I've just popped into the chat, to apply and to join that bootcamp. Then, yeah, like I mentioned, these are the courses that you'll get, the 3 certifications plus the internship. So our roadmap is designed to just get you a job. It's not designed to get you the CISSP or the GMAT or the RMAT or the XMAT, all these certifications in cybersecurity. It's just designed to get you your first job. And for Campbell, who's speaking about the fees, it is 6 months. And just like our software engineering bootcamp, it's the same price at 40K once off, or 8,000 Rand a month for 6 months. 8K a month for 6 months. If you want some flexible payment plans, please do reach out and we can also help you. And then we have another problem. Like I mentioned during the event, for all of you guys that were at the event, we have seen that there are a lot of people that have IT degrees or IT certifications or even cybersecurity courses that are just looking for help on how on getting into the field or getting a job. So yeah, I'm gonna take all your questions at the end, please, and I'm gonna answer them all. So we have another bootcamp called Job Readiness, right? The Job Readiness course. So the main goal of this is for people that already have the certifications, already have the qualifications, but all you need is help on how to get the job, right? How to get the job. So what's in job readiness? It covers, well, these are the prerequisites of the job readiness. Like I mentioned, you need to have some sort of an IT qualification or a list of portfolio projects, right? In case you're self-taught. And what it covers is, firstly, we look at your CV and we tell you what to fix on your CV, because that your CV and your cover letter is normally the first thing that the recruiter sees. So we work on recreating and fixing your CV and cover letter. Then we do a LinkedIn masterclass where we take your LinkedIn from whatever it is now to a sales tool, because getting a job is sales. It's all about sales. It's all about what you say on your CV and on your LinkedIn, and how recruiters and CEOs interpret that. So we do an in-depth LinkedIn masterclass, and if you're interested on just the LinkedIn masterclass, do stay tuned. Tomorrow we are hosting one of the lectures exclusively for our students. Sorry, it's only for our students. So yeah, then we fix your portfolio website and GitHub. So if you're a developer and you don't have a portfolio website, that's one thing that you really need to take a look at, and we'll help you craft a killer portfolio website that does not need you to code it yourself in that much detail. Then in job readiness, we will help you learn how to answer personality and technical interviews, because normally the step of getting a job is you apply, and then in tech, they'll give you a technical assessment or a coding challenge or something. Then after you've passed that, you move on to the personality interview. And then after you've passed that, you get an offer letter. So we teach you how to actually answer technical interviews, how to do personality, things like video interviewing, things that you might think are not important, like your lighting, your dressing, your grooming. You know, some people actually show up to interviews in their pajamas, and then they wonder why they can't get a job, right? So those are some of the things that we'll take a look at. And then how to actually apply for a job. You should never, ever, ever do the spray and pray method, where you go on LinkedIn and you just click easy apply, easy apply, easy apply. Or you go on Indeed and then you just say apply, 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 apply. And then you feel like you're actually looking for a job. That doesn't work. There's a science to it, where you actually write a personalized message, a personalized email to a hiring manager, a CTO, a CEO, and you follow them up over a 30-day period. Constant follow-up until you get that interview. Then after that, we're going to teach you how to impress, because once you get the job, normally you get 3 months of probation. And then if you mess up on that probation, you lose the job. So we actually teach you what to do in the first 3 months to make sure that you're undeniable. Then we're also going to teach you how to network, why events are the best things to do if you're looking for a job, what to do when you're at an event, how to connect with people. And then lastly, we'll give you a guaranteed interview. So job readiness, we're only taking 10, the first 10 people that apply to join job readiness will come in. But for all those students that are already at MELSOFT Academy, you are automatically in the job readiness, and you should see us start rolling this out in June. And yes, job readiness is 4 weeks. You don't need that much time to get a job, guys. And I always tell people think I'm lying. Getting a job in tech is difficult. Yes, it's very, very difficult to get your first one. But on the scale or level of difficulty, it's actually one of the easiest things to do, especially if you know how to do it and you actually put in the work. So all this stuff, you have to put in the work. MELSOFT is not going to just give you interviews and jobs simply because you joined the course. You have to put in a lot of work yourself and take accountability, right? So how much is job readiness? It's only 4,000 Rand. Only 4,000 Rand, guys. What this phone is 12K and it's now old. But with just 4K, you'll be able to land your first job in tech. So that's how much it is. It's very affordable, and we're only taking the first 10 people. So if you want to apply for that job readiness, again, this is the link. Just apply, and then we'll take it from there. And then, yeah, then finally, our final bootcamp is obviously our full stack software engineering bootcamp, which I'm sure all of you guys are familiar with. Same price, 40K, and with a guaranteed internship after 6 months of completing our software engineering bootcamps. And we cover full stack JavaScript with the React on the front end and Node.js when you're writing your APIs, then SQL for database, and interview prep, which our January cohort is about to get into after they finish the API section and database. Yeah, so that's all that we have. Now we can start taking questions if there are any questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Laris Jamil, our CEO at MELSOFT Academy. Guys, thank you for your time this evening. If you guys do have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand, pop them in the chat box, or if you feel it, please do unmute your mic and ask your question.
Hi, I know I've been raising my hand. I just didn't want to be overwhelmed by everyone else. But basically what I'm asking is, how often is the intake? Because for the first course you spoke about, you said it's 6 months and only 20 people. So for the job readiness, how much is the turnaround time for how many people you take in? That's my first question. And then my second question is, when it comes to the IT certifications or like degrees or whatever, is it supposed to be the internationally recognized one, so the COMPUTEA and Cisco, or can it also be the TriHackMe's that Mr. Fingerz had also spoken about? Yeah.
Okay, so for the first question, we do our intakes monthly. All of our intakes are per month. So the job readiness, the first cohort will be starting on the 1st of June. So we always move in cohorts. And that's because if you have other people that are on the same mission as you, it's easier to achieve your goals. So the first cohort is starting on the 1st of June. And that's when we're only going to take 10 for job readiness. Then for cybersecurity, will be taking 20 every cohort every month as well. Then the certifications that we are offering are CompTIA certifications, although we will definitely be using a lot of TryHackMe stuff in the curriculum to build
Yes,
up.
no, I'm referring to the job readiness because you spoke about the prerequisite is the IT thing. So I'm saying for that particularly, does it have to be the CompTIA, or can like TryHackMe's, Coursera, and Udemy, all those like not as internationally recognized, can that also be accounted for or not necessarily?
Okay, so for job readiness, anything is fine. Anything is fine, because the thing about being in tech is that your certification doesn't really matter. The only reason why we ask for a certification is because we want to actually work with people that at least show us that you know something.
Okay.
Yeah, even if it's a Udemy or Coursera, we can help you out, because we know a lot of people that have gotten jobs through just Udemy only.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Larith, we've got a question in the chat box from Courtney Alexander. Can we do the course part-time?
100%. So there will be a part-time option as well. That's for people that are working or studying elsewhere. So just take a look at the website. You'll be able to see how the part-time option works.
Thank you. We've got a question from Dineo. Dineo, can you please unmute your mic and ask your question?
All right, thank you, guys. I'm just interested in this course. That's why I've registered, but I do not have any, background of IT or anything. I just want to break into the tech industry. I'm coming from, the commercial sales. So, what would be your recommendation? Sorry, I might have joined in the middle.
Okay, so if you're coming from a non-traditional background, no computer science, you can definitely break into tech. Personally, I am actually a supply chain management graduate. I have no business being in IT. If degrees were if what you use, right? I have supply chain management and business background, but I'm in the tech space. So what I advise for people like you that are coming from another industry is, don't aim to be a developer, because you'll be throwing away a lot of wealth of experience and knowledge that you have. Like you're saying, in commercial sales, you'll have to find a way to merge what you learn in the boot camps with what you already have. Then maybe you can become the best tech salesperson in the world. So yeah, or you can decide to make a complete 180 and change your careers and start at the bottom as a junior dev. That's also fine. Some people have done that successfully.
Okay. And you offer courses like that?
Yes, we have software engineering and cybersecurity, as well as UI UX design that's launching next week.
Okay. I was more interested on the cybersecurity piece.
Okay, great stuff. So if you're interested in that, just use the link in the chat box and apply for that bootcamp, and then you'd have to go through an interview to get into the bootcamp. Also, we don't accept everyone. To keep the
Okay.
quality high, nothing against you, Dineo.
No, I get you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks for all the questions, guys. Do you have any more questions? You guys are free to join the WhatsApp group that Mr. Fingerz have. He's left the link for us in the chat box. Please do join Mr. Fingerz' WhatsApp group. Guys, please do apply for our course. Is there any more questions that we have? Who do we've got in the Sipulele? Please do unmute your mic and ask us the questions you've got. Sibulele, are you there? Unmute your mic and ask us the question. Okay, we're not getting anything from Sibulele.
Hello, how are you guys?
Hi, Sibulele. Great, thanks. Ask your question, please.
I just wanted to ask, Neman, if you can't register now, because I just recently got this on TikTok and then I heard about it now, can you be able to register for the following semester, or will the courses be changed for the next semester?
So you will be able to register every new month. So we're starting with June, the June cohort starting in a month, and then after that we'll have a July, and we'll have new cohorts every month besides December and January. Oh, just besides December only.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, man.
All right.
Thank you for your question. Do you have any more questions, guys? Any more questions in the chat box? Emmanuel, you're asking me about the WhatsApp group link. It is there. It's been made available for Mr. Fingerz' WhatsApp group.
Yeah. I think that's all. We can wrap it up. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, everyone. The other comments, you can always reach out to us or via email or via call, or you can visit us in Rosebank, or you can come to our event. We're hosting another event on the 23rd of May. Just stay tuned on email, and also if you want the recording to this meeting, it will be shared first thing tomorrow morning. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Fingerz. Thank you, Mr. Blaine, Ms. Kinelwe, and each and every one of you guys that decided to spend your Thursday night here and not on Generations or Muvango and all those other shows. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. See you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to everybody who attended this evening. See you guys soon. Please do keep your eye out for our next webinar. We will be having more of these. Keep your eyes out for us, guys. Have a good one. Cheers, everybody. Good night.